Good afternoon to those who listen. It is November 6th, 2018, 1:52 p.m. And this is what I've got done so far in preparation for the appeal hearing for Wednesday, November 14th at 1 p.m. Central Time. And I haven't got a lot done yet, but I've gotten some done. So here's what I wanted to say so far of what I've got done. I got organized what I'm going to say, and in kind of an order of how I'm going to say it, but I'm going to keep practicing it and get it down. I'm pretty much just putting all the evidence together. I'm going to start out saying that I will, just talking to the judge, I will show you clear and clear evidence of how the apartment complex and Section 8 broke the law. And it should be pretty easy. I got written documentation. The apartment complex sent me paperwork saying that if I vacated the apartment by October 18th, which is exactly what I did, and that's exactly what the lawyer told me to do, was he even told me to pay the rent, which I wish I wouldn't have. But he said to pay the rent, pay the late fees, and then turn over the keys to them, and then they will terminate the lease. And then in the paperwork, it also said that if I vacated by October 18th, that I would be terminated off of the lease. And that's what I was going for. And then the apartment complex contacted Section 8 and told them that I vacated the apartment. And then Section 8 sent me a certified letter. Both of the letters are certified. So they can't deny sending it or writing it or any of that stuff. So Section 8 then sent a letter claiming that I vacated the apartment, which I did, but I paid the rent through October. So on October, I think it was the 20th, maybe the 22nd. Either way, it was still in October. The letter said that since I vacated, I violated the family guidelines, and now I am terminated immediately from Section 8. Well, for one, they can't do that until after I'm officially gone. And since I paid rent through the whole month of October, they couldn't have even done that until November 1st. So there's one thing that they broke the law. And then, of course, the apartment complex broke the law by saying that if I vacated, that I'd be terminated off the lease, and now I'm not. Now they expect me to pay the other 9 months of my lease, which is crap. So Section 8, what was I going to say? Section 8 violated their part of it. Oh, another thing, they said that in that, the violation of me breaking the Section 8 lease. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here. They said since I've turned the keys over, that was me breaking the agreement with Section 8, and that's why they are terminating me from that. Well, another thing, they said that I didn't notify them that I was going to be moving. BS. if you've been following my videos, I have contacted them many, many, many times, telling them that I cannot live there. I'm getting sick from being exposed to mold in that apartment. And I told them I begged them, just move me out of there. First, I begged the apartment complex. After the first 2 weeks, I contacted them many times saying, I've been getting sick. There's something wrong here. And then I discovered the mold. They fixed one part of the mold. They cleaned up one area under the sink. But then I continued to get sick. So I kept contacting them. They kept coming over. They came over a couple more times. Said they couldn't find anything. Everything's fine. You need to live here. And I kept, every time I stayed there, I kept getting sick. So I have 3 hospital visits, 3 emergency room visits. I got all that documented. I got to get all that lined up together too. But I have all kinds of evidence showing that I was sick from the mold. And the lawyer told me that if I had a letter from the doctor stating that I couldn't live there because of mold and because it was exasperating my health conditions, that would be enough for them to move me to a new apartment. Well, they backed out of that again, now saying that the doctor didn't go and inspect the apartment, so she has no right to claim that health issues were caused by the apartment. Really? Wow. So I got all that. And I got all the pictures, which I'm going to show you right now while we're talking. I got all these pictures of the mold, and well, the first part of it is the furnace area. I'm not sure if that had mold, but it was definitely dirty. That might have not caused my problems, but the other mold was. And I did the mold sample. I sent a sample of the mold, the airborne mold from the HVAC system, and it came back positive for Alternaria mold. So they said it wasn't elevated. Well, guess what? That shouldn't matter. And my doctor's already stated, and I just called her, the nurse, to have her write another letter stating that any amount of mold can be hazardous to some people's health. So just look at these pictures. Look at how dirty the air conditioning unit was. It had a lot of standing water in there, which I showed there. A lot of standing water, which could also attract mold. I'm not saying there was mold right there, but it was definitely dirty. And then we had under the sink where it was just leaking. All that water was leaking. And then look at, this is how it was. So somebody that moved in there, or somebody that lived there before, had this leak and let it go. It went down into the floorboard. They actually cut out that little square area and repaired it, but then it got leaked again. And look at all the areas where there was mold. Come on. They actually came in and fixed this part and cleaned it. But then I kept getting sick after that, so I knew it wasn't just that one area that was having the problems. And come on. Sorry, it's buffering a little bit here. And that was dirty. I don't know if that's mold. Probably wasn't, but it didn't look good. And it definitely smelled terrible. There's mold in that pipe there, that little plastic pipe that's going there. Tubing, whatever you want to call it. Sorry if it's slow because it's buffering. And just look how dirty. I think that was mold too. And it makes me mad that there's mold in there. Here's the floorboard underneath the carpeting, all black and rotting. And they said, oh, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Wow. Really? And here's my Petri dish that I did the mold testing in. And you can see the mold. It was growing. And I was supposed to keep it there for 3 days. After, through the third day, there was 2 big giant mold spores. There it is. And I sent that back, and it came back positive. Not elevated, though. But they say that it's not elevated. Oh, it's fine. Well, not for some people. Look at that mold. And then I think I found some mold in some cupboard areas along the walls. I don't know if this is anything, but I just documented it anyway. And then, hold on. I'll show you some more mold. The dishwasher mold, which I think is coming up now. What happened? It froze again. Stop freezing, please. Sorry about that. Put it on a better performance level, so it should work. Come on now. I need to give myself a like for this. Never did. I think I did a good job of documenting pretty much everything. So, come on, work. Video. No, nothing. It never works. Something always delays it, freezes, whatever. Something's always going wrong when I do a live show, even though it's not live. It's live, but it's private. Stopper. Don't know if that's mold or not, but it's definitely something. Maybe mildew. Now here is the dishwasher mold, which is disgusting. And there was actually hair growing out of it. Can't see it very well there, but I showed you some mold around that area. This is in the dishwasher. Come on now. And more mold along the lining of the dishwasher. Possible mold there. That was on the door of the dishwasher. But look at that, is disgusting. Look at that mold. Look at that. That's disgusting. And that should be enough right there to say, hey, that mold can make anybody sick. That's just totally disgusting. And my friend looked at it and he said he saw hair coming out, growing out of it. Look at how bad that is. Come on. That's just disgusting. Ugh, I don't even like looking at it. It's so disgusting. Oh, but there's no mold problem in there. Now here's a floorboard that was clean, that didn't have no mold, and it was fine. Here's a sample of the dishwasher mold that I took out of it. Disgusting. And here's possible spots of mold in the carpeting coming up from underneath the carpeting into the surface of the carpeting. Not sure if that's mold or not, but it's definitely a possibility. Here's the bathroom, the tub area underneath the faucet. There's some mold there. And there's also lots of mold in the tile above the faucet area in that, on the wall where the shower is. And there it is. And someone said that that mold there had to have happened over a long period of time. I think they just tried to hurry up and clean it, do a really quick job on it, just to so I can move in. Now, if you remember, when I was supposed to move in at the beginning of July, then all of a sudden they said, "Oh, it's going to be another 3 weeks before you can move in." I'm like, "What?" So apparently, they were trying to clean this up as good as they could, but didn't do a very good job. And here's some mold in some cupboards, possibly. It's like, what in the world? How in the world did this apartment pass inspection twice? Doesn't make any sense at all. So there's that. I'll get out of that. Now, I contacted Channel 8 News. They have a thing called On Your Side. And anybody that has an injustice done to them can contact them, and maybe they will do a story on what happened. So I just sent this to them. My story is about how I was terminated from Section 8 illegally. I moved into Cross Creek Apartments on July 26, 2018. Within 2 days, I became very sick and couldn't breathe. I discovered the furnace air conditioning unit was dirty. Then I discovered mold under the sink where there was a bad leak in the garbage disposal. They came in and cleaned and fixed area under the sink. A few days later, I became sick again with trouble breathing. This time I had walking pneumonia. I went to the hospital 3 times and ER 3 times in 2 months' time. I reported this to management, and they came and looked at the department and said they couldn't find anything else wrong. I found mold under the sink, in several cupboard areas, in the dishwasher, around the tiles in the bathtub area and faucet, and under the carpet on the floorboards. Floorboards were black and rotting, but the management said it was fine. The dishwasher mold had hair growing out of it. I sent a sample of the HVAC airborne mold to a lab, and it came back positive for Alternaria mold. They claimed that since it was not elevated, it was fine, and urged me to live there. Each time I went back, even wearing a mask, I got sick within 2 days. I told them, when I was wearing the mask, though, I will admit, it was better. It took a little longer, but when I took the mask off, I got sick. And usually sooner than 2 days, usually like the day after. I wore the mask one time for 4 days, and then the day I sprayed all this Lysol, thinking maybe that might kill the mold. And then as soon as I took the mask off, I got sick again. I told them I couldn't live there and to please move me to another apartment, but they refused, saying there was nothing wrong with the apartment. And this isn't in there, but they also told me that all I had to do was turn the air conditioner on and I would be okay. And of course I did that, and I got sick and went to the hospital again. And that was in September. I believe that was September 15th. I got a lawyer, and the first lawyer, she said, if I got a letter from the doctor stating that I can't live there due to health conditions, by law they had to move me. And this is the first lawyer, till they switched me to the lawyer here in my area. And then the current lawyer told me to pay the current month and turn in the keys, and they would let me out of the lease. Section 8 said if the apartment complex let me out of the lease, they would find me a new apartment. I also received a certified letter from the apartment complex if I turned the keys in by October 18th, they would release me from the lease. I did everything the lawyer and the apartment complex wanted, but they went back on their written word. They now expect me to pay off the lease in full. Then I get a certified letter from Section 8 saying I am terminated from my voucher immediately. How can I be terminated before the month was over? I was paid up through November 1st. I showed the lawyer all the pictures of mold, and they agreed to represent me, but last week they called and said now they won't represent me due to lack of sufficient evidence. I have 95 videos documenting everything from day one. I have an appeal hearing on November 14th at 1 p.m., but I'm afraid judge will take their side because I have no lawyer and have to represent myself. I have many more details, but didn't want to make this too long. I have to pay rent at the apartment I can't live at and pay rent at, for some reason, I doubled that, and pay rent at my sister's also. I rented that apartment for 3 months, but only lived there for 1 month. This is a great injustice that I hope you will be able to expose on your program. Thank you. Jeff P. just put out a video. I'll have to check that out. Just got a notification for that. But that's what I have done so far. And I'm sorry this was a little longer than I wanted it to be. Sorry about that. But this is what I got together so far. So now I just gotta write up a whole outline of everything that I'm going to say, and then get it all condensed down to what I'm going to say. I don't want it to be too long. And then I got to have all the pictures. I got to take all the pictures that I have here. I got to go to like Walmart and have them printed out for evidence. I have to get all my doctor's visits and emergency room visits and the doctor's letters, and then all of their Section 8 and the apartment complex, their letters, certified letters. They were certified letters. That's what's funny. So they can't claim that I never received it, or they can't claim that that what was in the letter is different, because they're trying to say that I didn't fulfill my obligation, which I did. I turned those keys over, and I have all the proof in the world for that. So I don't know. That's what I got so far. And I also am going to print out some documents from WHO, the World Health Organization, and the CDC on mold guidelines and mold levels, and how mold can affect different people in different ways. Some people can be exposed to mold and it doesn't affect them one bit, while other people can get severely sick. And I've seen breathing problems, obviously the allergies, the sneezing, headaches, what else? Brain damage actually can be done from it, and even death. So there's no way I should lose this. How in the world could I possibly lose this with all the evidence I have? Especially since they backtracked and went back on what they said that they were going to do. And Section 8 saying I never notified them, that is just ridiculous. I have many phone calls, and I have to go through that too and try to dig out just bits and pieces from the phone calls that are recorded of them saying certain things. So I'll have that. I'm not sure if the judge will let me use phone calls for evidence. I think they should, because that just shows them also that that what they said and how they backed out on it. So there we go. Tell me what you guys think so far. I'll definitely do another video when I got everything down. I have 1 week to get this done. Next Wednesday is my hearing, so I have 1 week to get this done. And I'm going to try to get it all done as soon as possible. The sooner that I get it done, the more I can review it and get it all in my head. So I'll be ready to go when the hearing comes. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for all your prayers. Thanks for all your well wishes. I really appreciate everything. And all your advice. I appreciate all of that. And everybody trying to help me. I'll go through more individually of people if you want me to, but there's a lot of people that are helping me with a lot of different things, and I just want to say thank you to everyone that's been helping me. with this case. There's been some people, offering advice. Some people came up with some links to where I can print out stuff for that. And I also have somebody, and thank you so much for this. She's going to write a letter because she and her family also are allergic to mold, and she's going to write in a letter of what she went through with this mold situation too, and saying how, some people can really get sick from it. So thank you for that. And I think with all this evidence, I don't know if the judge will allow that letter because it's somebody out of state, but it definitely can be, maybe the judge can read it at least. Maybe it can't be used, but it can definitely read, how some people can have problems from mold. All right. Sorry about this being so long. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. God bless.